Hi guys, so welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel or my website, thank you for visiting. Thank you for coming over. This is definitely a place of freedom and expression, and I just hope that you would enjoy this video. So as the title of this video says, today we're going to be talking about what I learned in college so far. So I've been in college for 3 years. I'm an uprising senior. I was a senior last year too, but it's a long story. I did 1 year at community college, and then I've done a total of 2 years at a 4-year university. I did move away from my parents when I went to this university, and to say the least, I've definitely learned a lot. The moral of the story is that I definitely came with an expectation of college that it was going to be this big place full of lovely people. I was going to meet a bunch of friends and we were going to live happily ever after, and it was going to be great. And my college experience was going to be filled with stories to tell my kids for the rest of my life. And not saying that didn't happen. I definitely have met friends that I wouldn't trade for the world. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know who you are. And I definitely, some of them, most of them, I actually met at orientation. So that was great. And I just think that college is a great place for you to go meet people, learn, figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life while also working towards a goal. And by no means am I, hyping up college, saying that you have to go to college, because you don't. That's the nice thing about life in general, that just your age from about 18 to about 24, 25 is definitely an exploratory time in which you get to become who you want to be. And the possibilities are endless. The sky is the limit. So if you choose to go to college or not go to college, it doesn't matter. I could have learned all these things by not going to college. But I definitely think that the environment of college, like just university environment, made it a lot easier for me to learn these things. So this here is a list, and I'm just going to go down the list and explain a little bit. So the first thing I've learned in college so far is that everyone is not your best friend. So like I said before, I did meet a bunch of people when I went away to university. It was really nice. I actually haven't made any enemies, but I didn't make any enemies in high school either. I don't know if that's just me, but I haven't. And I just had to realize that not everybody is going to be your best friend. College is stressful, and it's definitely time-consuming. Classes are definitely time-consuming, and so you can't hang out with everybody every day. And for me, my first semester I worked 2 jobs, second semester worked 3 jobs, third semester worked 2 jobs, and this last semester I worked 1 job. And you're working on top of going to school full-time. That takes up a lot of your time, and it definitely became overwhelming for me, guys. I couldn't balance friends and family and home life, and I have an apartment. I live not on campus, so keeping up with buying groceries, cleaning my house, as well as having friends come over and hanging out with my friends and going to social events, it was very much so overwhelming. And at the time, my first semester, I just had a minor. My second semester, I started on the track to being a double major. And mind you, my second semester, I was working 3 jobs, trying to juggle 2 majors. It was just overwhelming. And so because of that, I definitely saw who my best friends were and my not so, and just my friends were. And that's because, your best friend is somebody you're going to see all the time. Thankfully, she was in some of my classes, so I can see her a little bit more, see them a little bit more often. Whereas my friends, on the other hand, I only saw them like maybe once a week, twice a week. And I definitely had to deal with that guilt, but it's just a time thing. The second thing is that networking. So this is something that I wish I would have known coming into college. They definitely tell you this when you come into college, but it didn't sink in for me until this summer, actually. So going from my junior to my senior year. well, my third to my fourth year. And so networking is so important. The whole reason why you go to college or go to a job is so that you can meet new people and network. Whatever you're doing now is just a stepping stone for your future, whether you're in college or working, it doesn't matter. And so when you meet people, you need to make sure that you follow up on those relationships. You build relationships with people, because you never know. This person might be able to get you a job. This person might be able to get your foot in the door in a dream area that you want. And so you never know what people can do for you or what you can do for somebody else by just learning to network. The third thing is, you have your whole life to do what you want. Why not chase your dreams? So this is something that really just hit me over the head as of late, that I'm at that age where I need to be making decisions about my future. And I'm at that stage in my college career that I need to be figuring out what I'm going to do with my future. All the way through high school and middle school, I wanted to be a forensic analyst. Then when I got to college, I was like, well, God told me he wanted me to teach. So I was like, you know what? I want to be a teacher, blah, 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 gung-ho for teaching. I want to, do all these things in special education. It's going to be great. But then I was like, a teacher is worthless if she's never been in the field that she's talking about. So then I was like, well, I think I want to go and do chemistry again and work in the lab again, because that's just where I feel at home. So right now, it's like, I don't know what I want to do, right? And so I think that you have to figure out what it is you want to do. You have your whole life to live, and why not live your dreams out? I've always wanted to do YouTube ever since I was a freshman in high school, and I got in front of the camera for the first time and made my first video last year. But that's like a whole 6 years. Why did it take me 6 years to finally step out and do what I always wanted to do, So I just feel like chasing your dreams is so important, because you don't want to live a lackluster life. You want to live a life to the fullest. My biggest pet peeve is thinking like one day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be 85 years old saying I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda, and never did. And I think that life is too short for us not to live out our dreams. And college has definitely taught me that, because I know people who are going to school for nursing. Shout out to Naomi. She's going to school for nursing, but she wants to sing. Like, why can't you do both? Who told us we can't do both? It is our life goal to do what God has called us to do, and he didn't put dreams inside of us for no reason. The fourth thing is, if tomorrow, why not today? So this goes right along with that part about dreams, but also this has a lot to do with procrastination. So I definitely am a procrastinator. I wait until the day before or a week before to do something. That is me. I know it's me. I'm alright with that. But I definitely think if I wasn't like that, I could do a lot better. And so because of that, I just think if I could push it off to tomorrow, why not do it right now? And so that has a lot. In college, I definitely gained the freshman 15 when I came to university, but I gained so far more like the freshman 25. Since graduating high school, I've gained 25 pounds. It's only been 4 years, and that's about 25 divided by 4. That's about 6 pounds a year. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? So I figure, hey, if I stop waiting till tomorrow to say I'm going to eat healthy and eat healthy today, I would do better. If I stop waiting until tomorrow to do this assignment and do it today, I'd have more time to actually look over and make sure it looks good. So, just living your life for today, making sure that you get everything done today, it definitely cuts down on anxiety and cuts down on worry and things like that. Number 5. Everyone doesn't need to know everything. Matter of fact, no one needs to know anything. So that's definitely something important that I learned in college. You can't tell everybody your business. Everybody doesn't need to know your business, because they're just going to go around and spread it. And this was hard for me, not with the people at school, but telling people back at home things. Like, everybody and their mom doesn't need to know about your life. They don't need to know what you're doing down at school. That's not necessarily their business. And keep them guessing. It has been in my experience thus far that when you keep them guessing, everybody starts talking about you. And I firmly believe that you're not doing something right if they're not talking about you. Nobody needs to know who you're dating. Nobody needs to know, who you have staying over and everything. Like, I just firmly believe that's none of their business. The next one is keeping God first is a lifestyle. You need to get connected to be held accountable, and you need to be honest to grow. So this is something that a lot of people I see like on Instagram is like God first with the praying hands or whatever. But I definitely think it goes beyond just saying it. I feel like if you want to put God first in your life, he definitely has to be a priority. For me personally, it goes to the simple things like I might go out on Saturday nights, but trust and believe I'm going to be in service on Sunday morning. It doesn't matter if I got in at 6 a.m. or not. I've got to be there on Sunday morning because God needs to be the priority in my life. I need to make sure that when I wake up, I thank him for everything he's done for me. I need to spend time with him. If he doesn't know who I am, then what's the point? You know what I mean? And how can you live a fulfilled life if you're not doing what God has called you to do anyway? That's pointless. So I definitely believe in having a church when you go to college, or just when you go out to live on your own in the work field. You need to be connected in a church because there's going to be somebody there to lift you up, enrich you. Like I said, that networking aspect, there's definitely people to network with. And just when things get rough, especially in college, there's always that semester. For me, it was this past semester. It's that semester where things just get out of control and you just need a place to just sit and relax and know that you're safe. There's no safer place than the house of the Lord, in my opinion. If you're in a good church that has nice people and they surround you with God's love and there's no messiness involved, it's definitely a safe haven. So I think it's really important that you keep God first, because that's the only way that you're going to succeed in not only college but in life. Number 7, life sucks. So why not make the best of it? Every day is a chance to be happy. So this, if you have watched my Get Ready With Me talk through, then you know that this last semester for me, the spring 2016 semester, was tough. And I definitely dealt with depression for not the first time, but it had never been that bad before. And it was just because life got in the way, like I said before. But it wasn't until then that I realized life sucks, and it's gonna suck, and every day is not gonna be a happy peachy day. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. Did I make the most of this sucky day? The answer back then would have been no. My answer today is yes, because it doesn't matter if the day sucks. All that matters is that I use it up for what it's worth. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it is so important that you make that choice every day to be happy. That you wake up and you say, what am I going to do today to make sure that I'm taken care of? And it goes beyond just making sure that you eat and you exercise and you do your work and all that stuff. No. What am I going to do if today is not the greatest day? For example, couple of days ago, I had a not so great day. I was just stressed because of work and everything. I didn't have time to exercise. I had this commitment and that commitment, and it just became too much. And I almost broke down because I was so angry at the fact that my day was not going well, that I didn't feel happy about my day. And you know what I did? I went and I did a run on the treadmill, and I went and I made sure that there was time for me. I went and I watched some YouTube videos. I took time out for myself, and yes, I did lose about an hour of sleep doing those things, but I had to make sure I was happy. So I definitely feel like every day it's not going to be a peachy day, and even on those days when it is peachy, make sure that you take that time for yourself. Make sure you take time to be happy, because yes, the joy of the Lord is your strength, but joy and happiness are something completely different. I can have joy all day long, but if I'm not happy in that moment, I can definitely make that happen. Number 8, if you're not growing / evolving, you're going to be left behind. So this is so important. If you are in college, if you are in your early 20s, if you're working, if you're in school still, in high school, if you're doing whatever you're doing, if you are not growing, if you are the same person today that you were yesterday and the day before or 5 years ago, and you're not growing, then your life is worthless. And I hate to put it that way, but it's true. You need to be growing and evolving and becoming a better person and becoming the person that you want to be. Because if you're not, then what are you living your life for? That's my biggest question these days to everybody who calls me up and they're like, Michaela, this, and this, and blah, 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 blah. You have to make moves for yourself, honey. If you're not making moves for yourself, then why are you living? Just living the same thing day after day after day. If you're not growing in the Word of God, if you're not growing within yourself, if you're not maturing spiritually, physically, emotionally, if you're not learning something from the experiences that you're having and you keep having these same experiences over and over and over again, then what's the point? You need to go somewhere. You can't be the same person today you were yesterday because A, God's not working in you if you're the same person today that you were yesterday, and B, I mean, what's the point? Not saying to go off yourself, but I am saying make a change for yourself. Live your life for you. Number 9 is if you want to be comfortable. So if y'all listen to Andy Mineo, shout out to Andy, you know this line. If you want to live a comfortable life, make sure you never love nobody, be selfish, and never sacrifice. And I think that is so true. I think that living a life on purpose, living a life about who you want to be, living a life that's prosperous, you gotta be uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, then you're doing something wrong, honey, and you're not growing, like I said before. You know, if you're sacrificing for something, college is a sacrifice. You are spending buku loads of money just to get this piece of paper that's supposed to help you get a job. And it's not going to be easy. There's going to be days when you wonder, well, hey, am I going to be able to pay this bill? Or hey, am I going to be able to buy books? Or hey, do I have enough money to go get food? Like, college and just your early life is definitely the struggle upon struggles. Do I have enough energy to do this? Do I have enough time to do that? It's this struggle, this constant struggle, and this constant sacrifice of free time. And if you are sacrificing, it's not supposed to be comfortable. And if you're comfortable, like I said before, I'm sorry, but your life is almost pointless. All right, then number 10, last but not least, is love is a feeling, not a choice. But you can't love someone else without loving yourself first. And I put this one last because I think it's so important. I am a single woman. I do live my life as a single woman. With that being said, I've definitely had to learn me. And I think it's so important that we as young women and men take this time to learn ourselves, because when we're 30 and 40, it's too late. You can still learn yourself then, but it's definitely not the time. You should have learned that already. And so I think that my goal in life is not to, be married and all that stuff. That's not my number one goal in life. But it is something that I would like to do. And I've definitely been in love in the past. And the big thing that I learned through that and through my time now as being a single woman is that when you love yourself first, when you put yourself first and love yourself first, you have so much more to give to somebody else because you're getting what you need. And I definitely have learned that in college just because I've seen friends who bounce from dude to dude to dude to dude. I've seen guy friends who bounce from chick to chick to chick to chick. I have seen friends who have gone repeatedly, they'll be with their boyfriend, break up, get back with them for the same reasons that they broke up to begin with. I've seen it all. I haven't necessarily done it all, but I have seen it all. And it all boils down to if you love yourself or not. If you love yourself enough to put yourself at number one, to say, hey, you can't treat me that way because I know my worth. Hey, you can't do such and such to me because I know my worth. Hey, at the end of the day, you're not going to get away with thinking you can because I know my worth. it definitely puts you in a higher caliber, and that doesn't make you bougie, that doesn't make you selfish. Although it does take a level of selfishness, it makes you human, and it makes you somebody worth wanting to be with. And I feel like somebody who doesn't love themselves, who doesn't know how to go get for themselves, who doesn't put themselves number one, they're almost, if they're not even almost, they are somebody that you don't necessarily want to be with, because they're constantly going to be looking to you as the other half of that relationship to hold them up, to encourage them. Not saying that you don't do those things in a relationship, but I am saying that if it's becoming to the point where they're leaning on you and you're bearing their weight and it's not a shared experience, then that's not healthy. And that's what happens when you don't love yourself. So I think I put that one last because I definitely think it's the most important of them all, because if you love yourself, all the rest of those will follow. If you love God first, love yourself second, the rest will follow. Those are just the top things that I learned in college. I definitely learned, the educational aspect, but that's just the things so far that I've learned that have really pushed my life to a new level, have brought me to where I am, to where I'm chasing my dreams, I'm running after what I want, and I don't care who's in my way, I'm gonna get it. College has definitely taught me that. I feel like had I stayed at home and worked, or even had I just stayed at home and gone to college and not left the house to go to college, I wouldn't have learned any of those things. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something or got anything from it. Definitely, if you have any questions for me, leave it in the comment section of either here or the website. I'll try to get to them as best as possible, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.